are at the post, and the gate is rolling. First race on today's card, an overnight test. That field is just an eighth away. Large program coming up today in terms of number of races, in terms of the Illinois program, and in terms of the national scene. Race 1 in behind, here they come. They're off and pacing from the outside. For the lead is Charlie's Colty. Extreme outside, out second, rushing out. There goes Do It With Pride, but it's drifting wide in the lower turn. Down along the rail, sneaking up comes Casino Dino. And Casino Dino leads it now for Andy Miller on the outside. Ruthless Walton parked second. Down along the rail, racing third as they drive toward the quarter-mile mark will be Kentucky Chip. On the outside, racing 4 is Do It With Pride. 5 along the rail, past the quarter-mile mark is Charlie's Colty. He finds cover there. And 6 moving 3 deep from midfield. There goes Midnight Flare. And he is in gear past the quarter, 29 and 2. He's backed out, flying past Pacers. He's still 3 wide. They're racing toward the half. He was 5 moments ago. Now 2, now ranging up alongside the leader. And the new leader will be Midnight Flare. He bowls his way to the front. Casino Dino gives way. On the outside, park third is Do It With Pride, going a tough trip. 4 on the rail. At the half is Ruthless Walton. Racing 5 on the inside will be Kentucky Chip. 6 past the half is Charlie's Colty. 7 on the inside, Undaunted. 8 is Betsy's Mess. 9 at the back of the field is Sorry Wrong Number. The half and 58-1. They're racing toward the upper turn. The leader, Midnight Flare, he's on top by a length and a half, and the Broadway Express, son of Dames Rocket, heads him toward 3/4. On the inside, Casino Dino is next. Racing third, Do It With Pride. Drops in to catch a breather before 3/4. Ruthless Walton, 4 on the outside, begins to move again at that marker. 5 is Charlie's Colty. He will have no choice but to come 3 deep. He's 9 lengths off the leader. Racing 6 on the inside is Kentucky Chip. Racing 7 on the outside. Trying to move up is Betsy's Mess. Off 3/4 and 127. They're at the top of the lane. On the inside, racing with the lead, Midnight Flare. And here comes Casino Dino to try the leader. And Charlie's Colty is 3 wide, charging mid-track. Here comes Charlie's Colty far outside. Between horses, Casino Dino. On the inside, Midnight Flare. Racing 4 is Ruthless Walton. They're in the final 8th mile. The new leader, Casino Dino, for driver Andy Miller. Casino Dino, the Casino Gambler, gets up to win it by 2.5 lengths. Photo for 2 and 157 and 4. In that photo for 2 are Midnight Flare and Ruthless Walton. Under the wire 4th unofficially was Charlie's Colty. 157 and 4. The Darn Safe, a race that in past years has seen performances like winning Chance when he became the fastest Illinois bred 2-year-old ever, 159 a year ago on the trot. Fox Valley Emperor when he trotted in 159 and 3. This elimination of the Darn Safe in behind, here they come. They're off and trotting from the outside. Never Fish first away. Favorites Rocky is off stride, and now Never Fish is on a break. And the complexion of the race has changed totally as they trot toward the quarter-mile mark. Favorites Rocky and Never Fish both off stride in the lower turn. And the leader is Fred Finn. He's on top by 2 lengths. On the inside, trotting next to Steelin as they drive toward the quarter. Along the rail, racing third is Charlie's Jackpot. Trotting 4, dropping in to find cover there will be Mr. Yankee. 5 on the rail. Sneaking up comes BP's Laredo. 6 off stride is Never Fish. And a distant 7 after a break is Favorites Rocky as they slip past the quarter in 31 and 4. And off the rail, out and driving from 4, there goes Mr. Yankee. He begins to move before the half-mile mark. They're being led by Fred Finn by a length and a half. On the inside, trotting next to Steelin. Outside, Mr. Yankee parked third. Trotting 4 is Charlie's Jackpot. Racing 5, and right there now is BP's Laredo. 6 on the inside. Favorites Rocky moves up. 7 off stride is Never Fish, who has yet to hit the trot as they race past the half-mile mark. On the inside, Fred Finn trots with the lead. Outside, Mr. Yankee still parked. He's still moving up. Now second. Steelin is third off the half-mile station. Apparently in 103 1/5. They're racing toward 3/4. Racing 4 is Charlie's Jackpot yet to move. Trotting 5 within striking distance. BP's Laredo. 6 is Favorites Rocky. And 7 is Never Fish at the back of the field as they trot toward 3/4. On the inside, Fred Finn with the lead. On the outside, Mr. Yankee trotting second. Steelin on the rail is third. He soon will need racing Racing Room. Trotting 4 is Charlie's Jackpot. 5 is BP's Laredo as they slip past 3/4. They were at that marker in 1:33, top of the lane. Fred Finn on the inside. Mr. Yankee on the outside. Steelin on the rail is still there. Trotting 3rd. He's been covered all the way. And here comes Charlie's Jackpot. He's 4th, moving 3 deep in the final 8th mile. Charlie's Jackpot far outside. On the inside, Fred Finn. Between those two, Mr. Yankee. Steelin yet to find Racing Room. He's still there on the rail for Connell Willis. Final 16th. Fred Finn is on top for Tom Tetrick, and Fred Finn trots to the wire and wins this elimination in 2:03 and 3. Home 2 was Steelin. Finishing 3 was Mr. Yankee. 4 was Charlie's Jackpot. 5 was Favorites Rocky. 6 was BP's Laredo, and 7 unofficially was Never Fish. Last start, and right now, R. Jason is wild behind the gate. He is off stride, and driver Danny Rhodes absolutely has his hands full. Here they come. They're off and trotting. Cooper Camper is off stride as the field left. Mystical Chance also on a break, and from the outside, there goes a lot. He trots to the front for Dick Taylor. Down along the rail, trotting next, picking up cover as they race toward the quarter is Hawthorne Tom. On the inside, mousing around, gets away, trotting 3rd. 4 after a break is Mystical Chance. 5 on the rail, McJade. Racing 6 is R. Jason. 7 after a break. As they race past the quarter is Cooper Camper. He has a lot of ground to make up. Field of 2-year-olds being led by A Lot. A Lot is on top by a length and a half. On the inside, Hawthorne Tom trotting 2nd. Off the quarter, 31 and 1. They're racing down the backstretch. Along the rail, mousing around, content to wait 3rd. A distant 4 toward the half-mile mark will be Mystical Chance. 5 is McJade. 6 is R. Jason. Trotting 7, Cooper Camper. As they move up the lower turn, straightening toward the half-mile mark. Field of 2-year-old trotters being led by A Lot. He's on top by 2 lengths now for Indiana driver Dick Taylor. Racing next on the inside is Hawthorne Tom. Trotting 3rd, mousing around, content to bide time as they race past the half-mile mark. Trotting 4 with ground to make up is Mystical Chance. 5 is McJade. He's rough-gated past the half. He's off stride. 6 is R. Jason. 7 is Cooper Camper. Off the half and 1:03 and 1. They're racing toward the final turn. The leader, A Lot. He's on top by a length and a half, as yet untested in this journey. Inside, Hawthorne Tom is still stalking him, trotting 2nd and mousing around. Very much within striking distance, but yet to move. He trots 3rd. They're at 3/4. Racing 4 is Mystical Chance. 5, R. Jason moves up past the 3/4 mile mark. Racing 6 as they turn for home will be Cooper Camper. 7, McJade at the back, top of the lane. 3/4, 1:32, 1/5. They straighten toward the wire and off the rail. Here comes mousing around for Neil Coleman, but he is rough-gated as they drive toward the wire. They're in the lane. On the inside, A Lot. On the outside, Hawthorne Tom begins to move. Mousing around, fading from the picture as he's off stride as they race toward the wire. So it is not to be. In this elimination, it'll be a battle between A Lot and Hawthorne Tom, and A Lot will prevail at the wire for Dick Taylor, winning it by 3 lengths. Home 2nd was Hawthorne Tom in 2:02, 1/5. Finishing 3rd was Mystical Chance. 4 after a break was mousing around. R. Jason is off stride. That will allow Cooper Camper to finish 5. Home 6 was R. Jason. 7 will be McJade. Gates rolling, field just an 1/8 away. Buck and Wing, the veteran campaigner, coming off his most recent win, wire to wire, in the age division of the State Fair Colt Stakes at Springfield. Here they come. They're off and pacing. Between them, Started Tab is first away. From the far outside, Buck and Wing gets away 2nd. Down along the rail, Smart Angle racing 3rd. 4 dropping in is Lopalula. 5 settling on the inside, Stomper Revrack. 6 at the back is Woodmouse as that field rolls toward the 1/4 mile mark. And Buck and Wing parked on the outside. He now moves to the front. He takes command before the 1/4 mile mark. He's the new leader for Butch Paisley. On the inside, picking up cover, racing 2nd, Started Tab. Pacing 3rd is Smart Angle past the 1/4 mile mark. On the inside, racing 4 is Lopalula. 5 is Stomper Revrack. 6 is Woodmouse. Off the quarter, 28-3. They're racing down the backside. The leader, Buck and Wing. He's on top by 2 lengths for Paisley. Racing next to Start a Tab. Pacing third is Smart Angle, Content to Wait. 4 before the half will be Lopalula. Racing 5 on the rail is Stomper Revrack. And 6 is Woodmouse. Nobody moving. Everyone content to wait as they leisurely move past the half-mile mark. Buck and Wing on top by a length and a half past that marker for Paisley. Inside Start a Tab next in 58 1/5. They're driving toward 3/4. On the inside third is Smart Angle. 4 is Lopalula, who's been there all the way. 5 is Stomper Revrack. 6 is Woodmouse at the back. They're in the final turn. Buck and Wing on top. He now opens up daylight on the field. He has them by 5 lengths before 3/4. On the inside, Start a Tab is still there but second. Smart Angle begins to move. He's third. Racing 4 is Lopalula. 5 past the 3/4 mile station will be Stomper Revrack. And a distance 6 is Woodmouse. Off the 3/4 mile mark in 1:26. They're at the top of the lane. That quarter in 27 4. They straighten toward the wire. And it's all Buck and Wing. They're 3 wide behind him. It's going to be a battle for second. Racing next between horses, Smart Angle. Far outside from way back, Stomper Revrack moving up. He's third. They drive to the wire. And it's going to be Buck and Wing destroying this field of pacers in this afternoon's 4th race. Buck and Wing and Paisley home in 1:54 2. Last quarter in 28 2. Under the wire second, Stomper Revrack. Finishing third, Smart Angle. 4 was Start a Tab. 5 was Lopo. Front 5 will come back for the final. 6 of them in behind for this elimination. Here they come. They're off and pacing between horses. For the lead is Oatsville. Far outside, rushing out, there goes Numero Uno Bandito. Those two battling for the lead as that field sweeps toward the quarter-mile mark, and Numero Uno Bandito gets to the front for Jerry Graham before the quarter. Inside, picking up cover, Oatsville will find cover second. Racing third is Jury's Out. 4 on the outside, parked. As they race toward the quarter-mile station will be Surgeon Duke. Racing next on the rail, Cut the Prize. 6 at the back is Brad's Ideal. As they race past the quarter-mile mark, Numero Uno Bandito was there in 28-1. They're racing on to the backstretch. On the inside, racing next will be Oatsville. Pacing third is Jury's Out. 4 on the outside, Surgeon Duke is yet to find cover. 5 on the rail, Cut the Prize. And 6 is Brad's Ideal, yet to make his move from the back as the field strolls toward the half-mile mark. Numero Uno Bandito dictating fractions. He's on top by just a length. Oatsville is still there second. Inside, Jury's Out is third. On the outside, Surgeon Duke going a tough journey. He's parked fourth past the half. Racing 5 has Cut the Prize. 6 Brad's Ideal still yet to move off the half in 57 2. A 29-1 breather through the second panel. They're racing into the final turn. Numero Uno Bandito on top. He opens up daylight on the field. He has him now by 4 lengths, by 5 for Jerry Graham. On the inside, racing next is Oatsville. To the outside from 3. Moving up comes Jury's Out. 4 behind him has Cut the Prize. Racing 5 is Brad's Ideal. 6 tiring is Surgeon Duke past 3/4. Numero Uno Bandito and Graham were there in 1:25. They're in the final quarter mile. Racing next is Jury's Out, top of the lane. Pacing third as they straighten toward the wire, Cut the Prize. Racing 4, Brad's Ideal. They approach the final 16th. The leader now on the outside, Jury's Out. Numero Uno Bandito fading on the rail. Jury's Out on top. Extreme outside, racing next, Cut the Prize. It's going to be Jury's Out. Michelle Lachance winning this elimination of the Dudley Hanover home in 1:54 4, winning it by 7 lengths. Home second in that journey, Cut the Prize. Finishing third, Numero Uno Bandito. 4 was Brad's Ideal. 5 was Oatsville. 6 was Surgeon Duke. Side, Mail Express. 7 at the back is Mystical Yankee. As that field swings around the turn, racing toward the quarter-mile mark. They're being led by B47. He's on top by a length and a half. On the inside, Javaro will get the perfect journey second. Rorty JB parked on the outside, and here comes Rorty JB. He's in gear as they race past the quarter-mile mark. He was third moments ago. He's the new leader. Off the quarter, 29-1. They're racing toward the half. Inside, B47 picks up cover now second. Javaro sitting third. On the inside, 4 is Trala Boom. Racing racing 5 Swag. 6 Mail Express tips to the outside. He begins to move from the back. 7 Mystical Yankee. They're racing toward the half, and Swag is out and driving between horses. Shoved 3 deep momentarily was Mail Express, and Swag is flying at the half-mile mark. And here comes Swag. He's the new leader for Pletcher. On the inside, Rorty JB giving way. Outside, Mail Express is third. 4 is B47. The half and 59-2. They're racing toward 3/4. 5 on the outside, Mystical Yankee. 6 on the rail, Javaro. 7 Tra-La Boom. They're in the upper turn. On the inside, Swag with the lead. Outside, Mail Express is second. Racing third is Rorty JB. He's off the rail, out and driving before 3/4. 4 on the inside, locked in tight is B47. He's got no place to go. 5 is Javaro, soon will need to move. 6 between horses, Mystical Yankee. 7 Tra-La Boom comes 3 deep from the backfield, well bunched. Everybody's got a shot, and Swag heads them past 3/4. 128, 1/5. We should see a good last panel, top of the lane. On the outside, Mail Express, 3 deep, Rorty JB, middle of the track. Here he comes, far outside. They're in the final 8th mile. Rorty JB is 3 deep. Between horses, Mail Express. On the inside, Swag is giving way. He's now third. Final 16th. The new leader, Mail Express. On the outside, Rorty JB. Mail Express. Ron Marsh take this elimination in 157 and 1. Photo for 2 between Rorty JB and Swag in that race for 3-year-old pacers. 157 and 1. Two-year-old pacing fillies in the Hayes Memorial at the post, and the gate is rolling. Race 7 and behind. That field just an 1/8 away. Here they come. They're off and pacing. On the inside, Abs Dasher for the lead. From the outside, Talk Straight gets away second. Down along the rail, Perfectly Honest is third. Away 4, dropping in to find cover there is Gently Weeps. And 5, Mixed Pleasure settles at the back as that field sneaks around the lower turn, racing toward the quarter-mile mark. They're being led by Talk Straight, who has made the front by 1.5 lengths. On the inside, Abs Dasher covered second. Along the rail, third, past the quarter, will be Perfectly Honest. Racing 4 on the inside, Gently Weeps. And 5 is Mixed Pleasure. As they slip past the quarter, 29-1, and leisurely move down the backside toward the half-mile mark. The leader, Talk Straight for Brian Penske, on top by 1.5 lengths. Abs Dasher, Jeff Foudar second. Along the rail, Perfectly Honest, Michelle LaChance are third. Racing 4, Gently Weeps with Butch Paisley. And 5, Mixed Pleasure, Don Conrad, as that field works its way toward the half-mile mark. The leader, Talk Straight, as yet untested, on top by 1.5 lengths. Inside, Abs Dasher still there, waiting second. Perfectly Honest sitting third midfield. Racing 4 past the half-mile station will be Gently Weeps and 59 and 2. And 5 is Mixed Pleasure at the back, yet to move. They're racing into the upper turn. The leader, Talk Straight, on top by 1.5 lengths. Abs Dasher continues to stalk her second. Inside, Perfectly Honest third. She's been covered every step of the journey. They're approaching 3/4. Racing 4 is Gently Weeps. And 5, Mixed Pleasure. Field of Grand Circuit, 2-year-old pacing fillies being led by Talk Straight. She's on top by 1.5 lengths. Inside, Abs Dasher. Racing third is Perfectly Honest. Off 3/4, 127 and 4. They're at the top of the lane. 4 to the outside. Gently Weeps begins to move from the back. Here comes Gently Weeps on the outside. 5 behind her is Mixed Pleasure. They drive to the wire. On the outside, Gently Weeps. On the inside, under a drive as they drive toward the wire is Talk Straight. Far outside, drifting wide in the lane, Gently Weeps. On the inside, Talk Straight is still there. Gently Weeps on the far outside. Talk Straight inside. Photo. That will be a photo finish. Gently Weeps appeared to get there for Butch Paisley over Talk Straight. Home third in that journey unofficially was Mixed Pleasure in 156. Still think he may be. And after catching a mid-season virus, is back going, and he may just prove to be the best of the lot after the next 2 minutes have passed. From 3, Steelin, stakes winner this year on the county fair circuit, winning a heat of the $9,000 plus feature at Altamont. Hawthorne Tom, very consistent county fair performer, 11 times in the top 3 before today's card. Also in this field, Cooper Camper, who trotted a big journey in 2:06 at Lincoln and has shown the ability to trot incredibly fast when he minds his manners. In a field that includes the inaugural Downstate Classic winner, Favorites Rocky. And right now, 2-year-old trotters are moving in behind. Starter Shorty Frazier has just greeted this field of Illinois-bred campaigners for the Darn Safe Final. They are at the post, race 8, gates rolling. Now they're an 8th away. Here they come. They're off and trotting on the inside. A lot is first away. Out next between horses Hawthorne Tom. Far outside, rushing out third. There goes Favorites Rocky, who stays flat this time as they trot toward the quarter-mile mark. But Cooper Camper, less fortunate, off stride at the back, as that field is being led now on the outside by Hawthorne Tom, who moves up to grab the lead for Buddy Simpson. A lot will give way second. On the outside, Favorites Rocky trotting third. Along the rail, racing 4 is Fred Finn past the quarter-mile mark. 5 on the rail will be Steelin. Racing 6 is Mystical Chance. 7 Charlie's Jackpot. 8 Mr. Yankee. 9 off stride at the back, Cooper Camper, and 29 and 2. They're racing down the backstretch. Hawthorne Tom on the inside trots with the lead. On the outside, still moving, Favorites Rocky. He's the new leader before the half-mile mark. Trotting third, A Lot. Racing 4 is Fred Finn. 5 is Steelin. 6 on the rail, Mystical Chance, as they trot past the half-mile station. And here comes A Lot. He's out and driving past trotters at the half-mile mark. He was third, now second. Now bulls his way up alongside the leader. Inside, Favorites Rocky. On the outside, A Lot. Those two battling for command. Trotting third is Hawthorne Tom, and 59 and 1 off a good front half. They're racing toward 3/4. Trotting 4 is Fred Finn in the final turn. 5 is Steelin. 6 Mystical Chance. 7 on the rail, Charlie's Jackpot. Racing 8 Mr. Yankee. 9 Cooper Camper at the back. They're approaching 3/4. On the outside, A Lot. On the inside, Favorites Rocky. And off the rail to join the chase, here comes Fred Finn. He will have to come 3 deep. They're at 3/4. He trots third. On the inside, 4 is Hawthorne Tom. 5 beginning to move between horses Steelin. They're at the top of the lane. A Lot on the outside is still trying off 3/4. 129 and 2. On the inside, Favorites Rocky is still there. Fred Finn is 3 wide as they drive toward the wire. Final 8th mile. Fred Finn is 3 deep. 2 wide and still trying and still game is A Lot. On the inside, Favorites Rocky giving way. Way wide, Mystical Chance trotting 4. They drive to the wire. Hawthorne Tom moving up as they drive to the wire is going to be Fred Finn getting to the front. Fred Finn is going to win it for Tom Tetrick over Mystical Chance, who is home second. Finishing third unofficially in that journey was A Lot. 4 under the wire was Favorites Rocky. Home 5 was Steelin. 6 Charlie's Jackpot. 7 Mr. Yankee. 8 Hawthorne Tom. 9 in this journey will be Cooper Camper. Three-year-old trotting fillies in the World Trotting Derby Filly Division. The Budweiser race moving in behind. Starter Shorty Frazier has just greeted those 6 fillies. They are at the post, and the gate is rolling. Programmed as the 9th race on the card here at DuQuoin at the DuQuoin State Fair. And right now, this field of trotting fillies is just an 8th away. Here they come for the first heat of the World Trotting Derby for 3-year-old fillies. They're off and trotting on the inside, Almost an Angel. First away from the outside, Margarita Miss gets away second. Down along the rail, Gin Hanover trotting third as that field sweeps toward the quarter-mile mark. Dropping in for Emerald Viking. Away 5, Chicky Hanover. 6 at the back, Pawn the Silver. As that field drives toward the quarter, being led by Almost an Angel. She's on top. She trots with the lead by 2 lengths for Mario Zwanetti. On the inside, racing next, Margarita Miss. She will get the perfect journey trotting second. 3 lengths off her, Gin Hanover third. From Front quarter 28-3. They're racing toward the half-mile mark. On the inside, racing 4 Emerald Viking. Trotting 5 Chicky Hanover. And 6 Palm the Silver can see them all as they sweep off the lower turn, straightening toward the half-mile mark. The leader, Almost an Angel. She's on top by 3 lengths. 4 is Wanetti. On the inside, Margarita Miss stalking her, trotting second. Along the rail, Jin Hanover is third, but yet to move. On the inside, trotting 4 past the half-mile mark will be Emerald Viking. 5 on the rail, Chicky Hanover. 6 Palm the Silver moves to the outside from the back, off the half, and 57-2. They're driving toward 3/4. The leader, Almost an Angel. She's on top by 2 lengths. Margarita Miss has been there every step of the way. She's still there, trotting second. They're in the final turn. Racing third, Jin Hanover. On the inside, 4 is Emerald Viking, who is still yet to move for driver Jeff Fount. On the outside, racing 5 is Palm the Silver, and 6 Chicky Hanover can see the entire field of 3-year-old trotting fillies. Almost an Angel heads them past 3/4. She's on top by 4 lengths, top of the lane. 3/4, 125-2, and Almost an Angel returning to the form that carried her to the title 2-year-old trotting filly of the year in America last year in 1991. Almost an Angel on top in the lane. Jin Hanover to the outside. She trots third. Margarita Miss has been her all the way. She's second. Almost an Angel on top. Jin Hanover trying on the outside, but it's going to be Almost an Angel winning the seat of the World Trotting Derby for fillies for Wanetti in 156 flat. Home second was Jin Hanover, finishing third. Margarita Miss unofficially in that heat for 3-year-old trotting fillies. The unofficial winner, Almost an Angel. Here they come. They're off and pacing far outside. Javaro for the lead. Out next on the inside, there goes Numero Uno Bandito. Those two battling for command. Ducking in third to find cover soon will be Cut the Prize. Along the rail, racing 4 is Jury's Out. And on the outside, there goes Numero Uno Bandito. He gets to the front by a length and a half. Cut the Prize is covered second. On the outside, Park third as they race toward the quarter. Javaro. 4 is Jury's Out. 5 on the rail, Mail Express. Racing 6 past the quarter-mile mark is Swag. 7 on the inside, Rorty JB, and 27-4. A distant 8, Mystical Yankee, as they turn down the backside. And now Javaro backs up toward midfield, hunting cover. He will find it and drop in, racing fourth. The leader is Numero Uno Bandito. He's on top by a length and a half. Sneaking up a tighter second on the inside comes Cut the Prize. Racing third is Jury's Out. On the outside, Mail Express begins his kick before the half. He's out and driving, was fourth, now third. Swag is right behind him, moving up on the outside with cover. He's 5. 6 on the rail, Javaro. 7 tipping to the outside. From the back is Rorty JB. 8, Mystical Yankee. The half and 57, they're racing toward 3/4. The leader on the inside, Numero Uno Bandito. Outside, easing up, racing next, Mail Express. On the inside, pacing third is Cut the Prize before 3/4. 4, beginning to move, comes Swag. 5 on the rail, Jury's Out, and he is absolutely buried at 3/4 with no place to go. Racing 6 on the outside is Rorty JB. He will have to come 3 deep from midfield. 7, Javaro. 8, Mystical Yankee at the top of the lane. Off 3/4 and 125-2. Numero Uno Bandito leads it. On the outside, Mail Express is next. Racing third, Cut the Prize 3 deep. 4 wide, racing 4 is Rorty JB. They're in the final 8 mile. He joins the chase far outside. A wall of pacers in the lane. 2 deep, Mail Express. On the inside, Numero Uno Bandito. Jury's Out, diving toward the rail. Here comes Jury's Out. 3 deep, Mail Express. Rorty JB far outside. Those 4, photo. That's a photo finish between Jury's Out and Rorty JB in 156 and 3/5 in the final of the Dudley Hanover. And Numero Uno Bandito and Mail Express were right there with them at the gates rolling. Here they come. They're They're off and trotting. Between them, Helga Frazier first away on the inside. Southern Drawl gets away second. Off stride, Nilly Nelly at the back as that field trots toward the quarter-mile mark. Dropping in third till then. 4 on the outside. There goes Judy's Jewel. 5 dropping in to fine cover. Lots of Pasta. 6 on the rail is Swift Flash. 7, Nilly Nelly is closing ground at the back of the field as they race toward the quarter-mile mark. They're being led by Helga Frazier by a length and a half. On the inside, Southern Drawl will get a trip second. Along the rail, till then trotting third. 4 dropped in as Judy's Jewel. Up the quarter in 30 and 2/5. They're racing down the backside. Trotting 5 toward the half-mile station. Lots of Pasta. 6 on the rail is Swift Flash. And 7, Nilly Nelly has caught the field and will now catch a breather before the half-mile mark. Field of 2-year-old trotting fillies being led by Helga Frazier. She's on top by 2 lengths for Michelle Lachance. Inside, Southern Drawl second. On the outside, moving up forward, there goes Judy's Jewel. Along the rail, shuffled back, trotting next past the half-mile mark will be Till Then. She's now fourth. On the outside, 5, and moving at the half comes Lots of Pasta. 6 on the rail, a Swift Flash yet to move. 7 is Nilly Nelly. Off the half-mile station, they're racing toward the final turn. Field being led by a length and a half as they drive toward the 3/4-mile mark by Helga Frazier. On the inside, trotting next to Southern Drawl, who's been there every step of the way. Outside third is Judy's Jewel before 3/4. Trotting 4, past that marker will be Lots of Pasta. 5 on the rail till then. 6, Nilly Nelly moving from the back, and trotting 7 at the back of the field is Swift Flash. Past the 3/4-mile mark, and 1:31 and 3, they're at the top of the lane. The leader, Helga Frazier, and here comes Southern Drawl to the outside. Southern Drawl to drive the leader. On the inside, Helga Frazier. Those two battling. 3 deep coming on in the lane as Lots of Pasta trotting third. Lots of Pasta and Sepp Nichols far outside, and rough-gated and drifting and bearing out in the lane as they drive toward the wire is Southern Drawl. Far outside, Lots of Pasta. Lots of Pasta on the outside. Southern Drawl inside. Photo. That's the photo finish. Home third in that journey was Till Then. Finishing 4 unofficially was Helga Frazier. 5 was Swift Flash. And that's the photo finish between Lots of Pasta with Sepp Nichols driving. It's rolling. Here they come. They're off and pacing on the inside. Talk Straight first away. Down along the rail, Gently Weeps gets away second. Ducking in third is Mixed Pleasure. Away 4 is Perfectly Honest. 5 out the back is Abs Dasher as that field rolls toward the quarter-mile mark. The leader, Talk Straight, on top by a length for Brian Penske. On the inside, Gently Weeps, the first heat winner, sits second. Along the rail, third at the quarter will be Mixed Pleasure. Racing 4 on the rail, Perfectly Honest. And 5 at the back is Abs Dasher as they slip past the quarter-mile mark, headed toward the half. Front station 29 and 4, and leisurely they hit the backside, being led by Talk Straight, who's on top by a length and a half. On the inside, Gently Weeps is still covered second. Along the rail, third is Mixed Pleasure. Racing 4 toward the half-mile marker will be Perfectly Honest, and 5 is Abs Dasher. Nobody moving, everyone content to wait. Field of 2-year-old pacing fillies at the half-mile mark. The leader, Talk Straight, she's on top by a length and a half. Inside, Gently Weeps is still there, still waiting, still second. Off the half-mile station in a minute 1/5. They're racing toward 3/4. On the inside, pacing third is Mixed Pleasure. Racing 4 as they hit the upper turn will be Perfectly Honest, and 5 Abs Dasher can see them all as they race toward 3/4. The leader by a length and a half at that station will be Talk Straight, and Gently Weeps, who won the first trip, has been covered all the way, is still there second for Walter Paisley. Racing third, Mixed Pleasure, Don Conrad to the outside. 4 Perfectly Honest, Michelle Lachance. 5 is Abs Dasher, Jeff Felt, as they move to the final quarter-mile. Off 3/4, 1:29 and 4, top of the lane. Talk Straight, the leader, and to the outside, here comes Gently Weeps. Those two battling final 8th mile. Racing third, Mixed Pleasure far outside. They drive to the wire. On the outside, Gently Weeps. On the inside, Talk Straight under a drive. 3 deep. Racing third, Mixed Pleasure. On the rail, Perfectly Honest, looking for racing room. She can't find it. Gently Weeps mid-track. Talk Straight on the inside. Those two. Talk Straight hangs on to win it. Home second in that journey was Gently Weeps unofficially. Finishing third, Perfectly Honest. 4 in that journey was Mixed Pleasure. 5. For the benefit of those of you who may be visiting today who are not familiar with this sport, the term overnight, generally speaking, applies to a non-stake race and this overnight test, and behind, here they come. Race 13. They're off and pacing on the inside. Pulitzer Prize first away down along the rail. Mystical Days gets away second. From the outside, Larry Jean racing third along the rail. Sneaking up fourth, now third. There goes Tally Issue, and the leader is Pulitzer Prize as they race toward the quarter-mile mark. He's on top by a length and a half. Mystical Days covered second. On the inside, Tally Issue third. Racing four is Larry Jean. 5 past the quarter-mile mark is Battle Skip. Racing 6 on the rail, Arabelle Hanover. 7 is Bluffview Billy as they slip past the quarter-mile mark, headed toward the half. The quarter in 29 seconds. They're being led by Pulitzer Prize. He's on top by a length and a half. On the inside, racing next is Mystical Days. Pacing third, Tally Issue. 4 is Larry Jean. 3 lengths off him. Racing 5 is Battle Skip, content to wait. 6 on the rail past the half is Arabelle Hanover. And 7 at the back as they race toward the upper turn will be Bluffview Billy. Field of Pacers being led by Pulitzer Prize. He's on top by a length and a half, and there goes Arabelle Hanover. She's out and driving from the back of the field. Off the half-mile mark in 58 and 4, they're racing toward three-quarters. Pulitzer Prize on top. On the inside, Mystical Days second, and on the outside, Arabelle Hanover still moving third, and with cover right behind her, here comes Battle Skip. He's 5, he's 4th, he's moving up on the outside. On the inside, Pulitzer Prize leads it. Outside, Arabelle Hanover second. Racing third is Mystical Days. 4 is Battle Skip. 5 is Tally Issue. 6, Larry Jean. 7 at the back past three-quarters. As they race toward the top of the lane, Bluffview Billy off three-quarters in 1:26 and 3. They're at the top of the stretch. On the inside, Pulitzer Prize. On the outside, Arabelle Hanover. And Battle Skip is still moving. He's third as they drive through the final 8th mile. Arabelle Hanover on the outside is still moving. And from way back, Larry Jean and Pacers are coming from everywhere in the lane. Fading on the rail is Pulitzer Prize. The new leader, Arabelle Hanover. She's on top in the final 16th. And Arabelle Hanover is going to win it for Michelle Lachance in 1:56 and 3. Home second was Larry Jean. Battle Skip appeared to be 3 over Bluffview Billy. Home 5 unofficially was Tally Issue. They are at the post, and the gate is rolling. Now they're an 8th away. Here they come. Second heat of the World Trotting Derby for 3-year-old fillies. They're off and trotting. On the inside, Margarita Miss first away. From the outside, Pawn the Silver gets away second. Ducking in third is Almost an Angel. Away 4 is Gin Hanover. Trotting 5 as they sneak around the lower turn. Racing toward the quarter-mile mark is Chicky Hanover. And at the back, racing 6 as they drive that way is Emerald Viking. And out and driving from 3, there goes Almost an Angel. She's not waiting. She's in gear as they trot toward the quarter-mile mark. She was third, now second. On the inside, Margarita Miss trots with the lead. But on the outside, Almost an Angel continues to move up past the quarter in 30 and 1/5. She's the new leader as they hit the backside. Inside, Margarita Miss picks up cover, trotting second. Along the rail, racing third toward the half is Pawn the Silver. 4 is Gin Hanover. 5 is Chicky Hanover. And 6 at the back is Emerald Viking as that field of trotting fillies rolls toward the half-mile mark. They're being led by Almost an Angel. She's on top by a length. On the inside, trotting second at the half-mile station, Margarita Miss. Racing third, Pawn the Silver. 4 is Gin Hanover. 5 is Chicky Hanover. 6 at the back of the field is Emerald Viking. Off the half and 59 and 4, they're racing toward the final turn. Almost an Angel dictating fractions. She trots with the lead by a length and a half for Mario Zwinetti. Inside, Margarita Miss, Butch Paisley trotting second. Racing third, Pawn the Silver, Ron Marsh. 4 is Gin Hanover, Michelle Lachance to the outside. 5, Chicky Hanover, John Simpson Jr. And 6, Emerald Viking, Jeff Fouth. They're at three-quarters. And Gin Hanover is off the rail. She's moving from fourth midfield past the three-quarter. 1:28 2/5, top of the lane. Almost an Angel trots with the lead. Inside, Margarita Miss racing second. On the outside, Gin Hanover trotting third, trying to close ground. They move to the final 8th mile. They're 3 wide behind the leader. Almost an Angel on top. Emerald Viking from way back joins the chase. On the inside, Almost an Angel. Outside, trotting next as they drive toward the wire, Gin Hanover. 3 deep, Pawn the Silver trotting very fast. Pawn the Silver far outside, Almost an Angel hangs on to win it. Pawn the Silver 2, Gin Hanover 3, 1:58 flat. 16 trotting fillies at the post. Gates rolling. Final heat of the afternoon. Programs for tomorrow are on sale in the grandstand lobby. Second heat of the Castle and Farm for 2-year-old trotting fillies, and behind, here they come. They're off and trotting from the outside. Helga Fraser first away. Out next between fillies, Southern Drawl. On the inside, getting away third is Lots of Pasta. Nilly Nelly off stride as the field left. Away 4, dropping in to find cover Till Then. 5 on the rail, Swift Flash. Away 6, Judy's Jewel. And 7 closing ground from the back of the field as they race toward the quarter-mile mark is Nilly Nelly. Field of 2-year-old trotting fillies being led by Helga Fraser as they trot past the quarter-mile mark. She's on top by 3 lengths for Michelle Lachance. On the inside, trotting next as they race past the quarter as the timer has malfunctioned as they race down the backside. Trotting second is Southern Drawl. Racing third toward the half-mile station as they straighten that way will be first heat winner Lots of Pasta. Trotting 4 Till Then. 5 on the inside as they race toward the half-mile station, Swift Flash. Trotting 6 Judy's Jewel. And 7, but right there is Nilly Nelly as they slip past the half-mile mark. And here comes Lots of Pasta. She's not waiting. She's out and moving at the half-mile mark. She was third, now second, now ranging up alongside the leader. And Lots of Pasta gets to the front for Sepp Nichols. Helga Fraser giving way. Till Then off the rail, she's moving third. 4 and quickly shuffled back on the inside is Southern Drawl as they race toward 3/4. Racing 5 on the outside. Moving up from the back of the field will come Swift Flash. 6 on the inside is Judy's Jewel. And 7 Nilly Nelly. They're approaching the 3/4. The leader, Lots of Pasta. She's on top by a length and a half. On the outside, Till Then trotting second. On the inside, Helga Fraser third. Racing 4 and still moving past 3/4, Southern Drawl. Trotting 5. At the top of the lane is Swift Flash. Off the 3/4 mile mark. Again, timer has malfunctioned. They're at the top of the stretch. On the inside, Lots of Pasta. From the outside, Southern Drawl still trying to close ground. Racing third is Till Then. 4 is Swift Flash. They race to the wire. On the inside, Lots of Pasta. Southern Drawl comes at her from the outside. Till Then trotting third. Southern Drawl on the outside is still trying. Lots of Pasta hangs tough. Lots of Pasta wins it by a length. Home second, Southern Drawl. Finishing third in that journey was Chick as they raced through the wire was Till Then, and a photo for 4 between Nilly Nelly and Swift Flash. We will have the corrected times for you as soon as possible.